so keep that in mind.
Yeah, hey, forget I asked. That'll definitely do.
Ew. Join the Discord.
It was the least fun I've ever had playing this game.
A small but vibrant and extremely humble community.
No, I've seen the sleeves, but I'm like, you said you're suiting up, and then you put your sleeve on. Thank you for saying that.
Because I'm a demon on the keys.
Next thing I know, we're both dead. I immediately left the lobby.
In Vietnam.
What are they playing for? Are they playing to win?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
Tanner, what are your thoughts on me doing an entire episode of the broadcast in my bed that I haven't washed in 18 months or so?
Do it. Do it right now.
On that?
You could. Your mic arm will probably reach over there. Actually,
I wonder if it would actually. Let's
try it. We can hear those sheets crunch as you get down there.
Not even. It's kind of close actually, but not.
Yeah, it's pretty
enough.
Close.
It was a joke anyway.
I mean, we have broadcast microphones. Your mouth has to be on it, you know?
Yeah,
so.
This is a professional, the Shure SM7B industry standard.
Sure. Shout out to Jake. Fuck Jake.
Fuck Jake. Welcome to the podcast. Episode, Kevin Gates was an awful song, by the way. The song he linked. Yikes. I'm not a rap
I tried
fan,
to listen to a few yesterday also, and it wasn't my thing. I don't like most rap, though. Listen, I'm white. If I want to listen to rap, I'm listening to the hardest, most gangster rap. Give me Mobb Deep or something, right? What am I? I don't want fucking anyone who's rapped past 2010, I don't care.
Yeah. I don't know enough
I'm talking about the
rap
popular
to
ones, at
appreciate
least.
anything other than pop rap. So that's why I don't like it.
Yeah, all the
kidding.
popular rappers, I don't know. I feel like all the good ones are not popular. I guess you can say that about any music. I don't care.
Exactly. Yeah, you can. But anyways, who cares? Stay mad. Welcome to the show, the Dropshot of Call of Duty podcast, Patreon bonus fucking EP44. My name's Casey, aka Razinon. I'm joined by Tanner. Tanner Tarkov wiped this week, huh?
Tarkov wipe confirmed this week, yeah. So, yeah. Sorry, guys, I'm eating. If you guys are at the Patreon hangout on Friday, you would know I'm eating Sweet Tarts Ropes.
Oh boy!
If you weren't there, I don't know what you were doing on Friday night. I mean,
how long was that hangout, by the way? Like 13 hours? Just all day.
We never mentioned that on Saturday. We forgot to talk about that.
We should have.
Fuck.
Yeah.
It was. I was there for about 9 hours. I literally never left the Discord channel.
I was in and out, but I was there for actually 12 hours probably, yeah.
Even when I got food, I had food delivered that day. Yeah, that was when I got that dog shit habit burger. I never left the Discord channel. No, it was not good at all. I wanted to try it though because it was limited. I know I like their other shit, so I'm like, I want to try something new. I regretted it. Don't try new things.
I agree. I'm with Jared and I'm against new things. Anyways, welcome to the show. Tarkov wipe on Thursday. That's why this episode is being recorded now on a Monday. Cringe. However, pretty excited to get into today's episode. As far as Patreon specific announcements, not sure there are any. We got the cool episode coming on Saturday with Razinon. Retweet it now. Join the fucking Discord. Also, I know we said we were going to do a Cold War Season 4 review or whatever. We haven't played it. It's just that simple. We haven't played it. I've played it a little bit, actually. I've played it enough to talk about it. Tanner hasn't, though. But this is, as we said about Warzone too, actually. This is the most underwhelming season this year since Cold War released. Nothing new or interesting was added, actually. So if you look at Cold War, we got Hijacked. Cool. It's a good map. Hijack's a good map. Not surprisingly. And that's okay. Cool, man. Cool. So Hijacked plays exactly the same as it did 10 years ago. Which we could say more about, but it wouldn't be an episode. And then we got a baseball bat. Cool. Don't care. The nail gun. It's awful in Cold War. Really bad. Never worth using. It's only 15 rounds in Cold War, by the way, not 20. C58 is fine, but it's not good. There are better guns in Cold War. Like I would use an AK all day over the, or any SMG over the C58. And then the MG82 is fucking insane because it's a light machine gun. But also there are better LMGs. It handles too slowly. I think maybe for like 12s, MG82 might be really good, but even then I'd probably just prefer a stoner. But it's insane because it's an LMG, which is what we had told you guys. But other than that, there's nothing new, really. I believe there was you know what we should have maybe done was the sat link thing, multi-team sat link. But here's our point, guys. We tried the last new multi-team playlist. It fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Because multi-team is fundamentally not a good mode. The plates are cringe. There's not enough loot. The whole reviving, rezzing situation is cringe. It's just that the foundation of all of the multi-team modes is not good, so the mode won't be good either. It doesn't matter how cool the idea is. Like multi-team hardpoint, if that wasn't good, no multi-team mode can be good. And it wasn't because of the foundation. Multi-team's just not fun. It's not interesting. It's not well done at all. It's weird. It just feels like a B-level studio game. Actually, that's how multi-team feels. It feels like it's a B tier like dev team, which Treyarch is, but they have a AAA budget and they can't figure it out. So yeah. So we're not gonna really try that. I don't know. I found the notes for this season be super underwhelming, and I've played it enough to tell you, well, the new weapons aren't interesting. New map is fine. Not much to say on it, though. Multi-team stat link or whatever is not going to be good. I don't need to play it to tell you guys that.
They all feel the same. That's what we've said about all of them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if we did the stat link thing, all we would do is be like, well, the mode's kind of cool, but we have every problem we had with multi-team Elim, we have with this also. So we would just be repeating ourselves a lot, too. So I don't... All of this is to say, don't expect a season 4 Cold War review, either on a Patreon episode or on a regular episode. I don't think it's coming.
Yeah.
Maybe season 4 Reloaded, we will, if there are some new, like, interesting guns again that get added.
Or like weapon balance.
Or weapon balance. Yes, exactly. Something interesting and substantive, but season 4 sucked for Warzone and Cold War, but more so for Cold War. So
yeah.
So we won't be talking about it. Sorry, but you know.
And then also this episode with Razinon on Saturday, we've kind of had this planned for like weeks now. So I think we planned that before we had even thought like, oh, the new season's coming out. We'll have to do a Cold War season review. So it's like, we're not doing a Cold War season review over an episode with Razinon, right? We're not doing that. Don't care. And then the following Saturday, I'm going to be out of town. So I don't know what Raz has up his sleeve, but we'll find out soon enough. So yeah.
And also, like, if you're a Cold War fan and you're malding about this, let me add that no one, even if you are a Cold War fan, you're not going to want to listen to people who don't really play Cold War enough do a podcast about it. I think when we talk about like zombies, that's different because we are completely new to zombies, and like it's actually just first impressions of just like zombies at all. That could be maybe interesting, but like if we did a Cold War review, we would have to go out of our way to go play Cold War because we don't want to play it. So we would be doing something that we have no passion for and then doing an episode on that thing. And it would just be completely like apathetic. It wouldn't be good content. Like, I promise you. We would be reviewing something we don't enjoy at all. Or didn't want to do. And we would have no enthusiasm either preparing for or actually doing the episode. And therefore, the content wouldn't be good anyway. Now, if you want us to want to play Cold War, that's fine. But I mean, you sound like the sitcom wife saying, "I don't want you to do the dishes, honey. I want you to want to do the dishes."
Wow.
Which is fair, but you can't make me want something I don't want to do. So.
Yeah. So also, we used to kind of get, this has been literally months, probably 3 months at least. We used to get, every once in a while, somebody would be like, yo, any chance we could get more Cold War content? I haven't seen one of those DMs in at least 3 months also.
Yep.
So it's like people wanted that. So that's what the original thing was. We're like, we'll do one Cold War episode, one like behind the scenes or something, and then 2 Warzone every month. Yeah, we don't even know what we're going to do going forward with Cold War content. I mean, I would be completely fine never playing Cold War again, literally. That's where I'm at. I don't care. So we'll see what we do in the future here. But yeah, I mean, if something big comes out that makes me want to go play it again, then we'll do that. Like when we got Yamantau and those maps and shit, that was fun playing those maps for the first time. I enjoyed that. But now just getting hijacked, it's like, cool, we get a good map on a Call of Duty game that I really don't like and is like a bottom 3 of all time for me. So it's like, the map's fine, cool, but yeah, nothing plays as well in this game. That's why, I mean, I despise Nuketown in this game, actually. And it's because of how the game itself is. BO4, I could play Nuketown every single day for months, and that's basically what we did. This game, I just can't, because it's the game. Yeah. So, yeah, not sure. If you guys are here for a lot of Cold War content, I don't know why you were. We've never done a lot of it, but I don't know. Stay mad, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but like, look, yeah, I don't know. However, that's not to say we won't be doing a year in review episode. Of course we will. That's definitely happening. We're not literally done with Cold War content, but it's not going to be a regular schedule. We're not even going to pretend like that's the case anymore. If something happens in Cold War that is like worth covering, we will. But season 4 really wasn't it, in our view. Like nothing was interesting about it.
Nothing.
And that's true for Warzone too, by the way. Season 4 was not a good season. Not much got added to Warzone at all. We got a bunch of shit that is LTM or people don't care about, like fucking red doors that are totally unimpactful. And then guns that one was overpowered for 5 days and now it's not. And now no one uses any of the new guns. Except the nail gun, but still, it just wasn't a good season for Call of Duty.
Well, people use the C58, but yeah.
Sure, you can use it. You're dumb if you do, but you can. Go ahead.
It's good. It's good. It's just
far as significantly better.
The best by far.
Yeah. Also,
we should mention while we're here, a lot of pros hating on the FAR, I've noticed, which is great to see, because that is what will get it nerfed actually. Yep. All those pro players, all those verified Twitter accounts bitching about the FAR and how it has no recoil. So keep it up. Keep the bitching. Let's get that thing nerfed.
Keep that energy, actually. Literally keep that energy. They are now saying what we said 2 weeks ago. Crazy. Hey, once again, you heard it here first, baby. Anyway, other than that, nothing else. Let's get into this. Santa, you ready?
Yeah. You want me to hit the jingle?
Please.
Here's the jingle, guys. In case you're listening for the jingle, this is it. This is what we do when we play the jingle. It plays that sound. You guys hear that? That's the jingle.
Any jinglers?
Any spinners? Any Borpa spins?
Borpa spins in the comments, please.
Can we get Borpa spin on Discord? Let's look into that.
Can you get GIF emotes? I'll look into it.
Yeah.
You're an admin, so you can do it.
I don't know how.
Oh, find out.
Cool. Dope, dude. Sounds good.
Hard, so
sounds good.
Figure it out. Hi. Welcome to the fucking show, boys.
Oh, wait, it's here.
Oh, did I already add it?
It's here. How do I use it?
No, it's not. Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, no. This emoji doesn't work because it's animated. Discord Nitro can solve all of that. Cringe.
Oh, cringe. I was going to get Discord Nitro. Maybe I will.
I won't.
Cool.
You should get Twitch Turbo before you get Discord
I got
Nitro.
Twitch Turbo.
Oh, nice.
Well worth it.
Yeah, for those of you who use Twitch a lot, you should get Twitch Turbo. It's kind of a lot. It's like, what is it, like $12 a month or something?
$9.99.
Okay, $10 a month. It gives you no ads on any channel. So even if you're not subbed to a channel, you won't get ads there ever. So it's like a sub to all channels, basically.
Yeah.
You don't get any emotes for any specific channels, but you don't get ads. That's the only reason I would sub to channels for the most part anyway. That's not true. But with Turbo, you don't get ads anywhere. It's so fucking nice. Anyways. Because ad blockers don't really work well on Twitch.
Yeah, I would.
And if they do, you have to like change it every 2 weeks and fucking change your API. It's not worth it.
I've never wanted to sub to someone just to remove ads, but like ads are by far the worst thing about Twitch. They play them at the worst times. Anytime I would go to somebody's stream and there'd be an ad, the pre-roll, I just wouldn't watch it, which sucks for that person. So, hey, you're welcome. I'm paying $10 a month now. Now I can watch your streams without clicking
Devin
off
Nash
right away.
Did like an analysis. The bounce rate is like 65% or something.
Yeah.
That's so crazy, dude.
Yeah, that's me, dude. I'm like, I'm not going to sit through 60 seconds of ads just to see what like this person's playing or what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, fuck it. I'm just leaving this website.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to the show. Today, we're going to be talking a little more about COD 2021 as it relates to Warzone. Now, we considered doing an episode today about COD 2021, like multiplayer / campaign, and our kind of predictions and hopes for that. However, how this normally goes, and we expect it to go this year as well, is that we're going to get a trailer or we're going to get a massive info dump leak. And when we do, it's mostly going to be multiplayer information, not Warzone information. That could change because Warzone's way more successful this year than it was before. Actually, I don't know. That could change, but I expect that to be the case this time. So it makes more sense for us to wait until that info dump to talk about multiplayer predictions for 2021 based on the info we get. Because we'll probably get that before we get a Warzone info dump, almost certainly. And another reason is since the last time we talked about COD 2021, there has been no new information on its multiplayer, but there has been a little bit of new information on its BR/Warzone, etc. So last time we had talked about this, we had mentioned, this was maybe a month ago, 3 weeks, probably a month. We had mentioned an article by VGC, Video Games Chronicle. Change it.
Yeah. Holy shit. Change it.
And we talked about, this was on a Wednesday episode. We talked about how Vanguard's skipping E3 as Warzone prepares for World War II. World War II themed entry will add the most significant Warzone tie-in yet, including a new map, is the subheading for this article. So that is the last time we talked about COD 2021. And we talked a lot about how that will impact Warzone in that episode. However, relatively recently, since then, 1 week ago on the 18th, we got an article from Liam McKay, the Irishman, that fucking bog-trotting Mick.
Oh,
I'm Irish, I can say that. That son of a bitch, Liam. About more shit as it relates to World War II Warzone. And again, they said there's going to be a new map, and there was this tweet by some dude, Nanakos, change it, listing a lot of the COD 2021 points of interest. Now, there's no really information on this other than the names of the POIs. However, some interesting POIs listed here. So, an analog to what this means, by the way, Salt Mine is the name of an area in current Warzone, or Promenade East, or downtown. So, whatever they're named on the map, this is that for whatever's happening in 21, COD 2021. So, we're going to read off the data mined list of POIs for Vanguard Warzone. Okay, ready?
Let's read them off.
Resort, Capital, Radio Station, Subpen, which is a submarine pen, which is like a thing in World War II, I guess. I had to look what that meant. Farms, airfield, lagoon, beachhead, caldera. Caldera is like a volcanic crater, basically. Mines, village, airstrip, docks, arsenal. Okay. Now, Tanner brought this to my attention, and Tanner had an interesting thought occur to him. Tanner, can you please share with us what your thought was reading that list of new POIs?
Yeah, before I share that thought, we will say this. The leakers supposedly said we're getting an all-new Pacific theme map, right?
That's VGC said this, not the data miner.
Oh, that's what VGC says.
Yes.
I don't know, though. So these list of POIs came out a few days ago before the last Wednesday podcast. I think that day or a day or two before. And I looked at this article and I'm like, there's nothing worth talking about here. I don't care about the POIs. It doesn't matter. They don't mean anything. Whatever. We kind of try not to talk about a whole lot of leaks on the pod now because so many have just been wrong.
Fuck Doug.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Fuck Doug. So, we were thinking of what to record today, right? And I was like, hey, you know what? There was some new Vanguard info. Let me go look at that again. I start reading it through. I'm like, they're just POIs. And then I was like, oh, shit. I was like, dude, what if we get another Verdansk 44? Because that was what we all joked about. We're like, okay, went from modern day to 84, and then the next one will be 44, right? We're going back in time again. And then we got the info that supposedly there's going to be a new map. Looking at this, though, I don't know. I don't know anymore. Let's think about some of these names. Let's get into them a little bit, right?
I agree. Yes. Yeah. So let's real quick. Let's also remember, guys. Remember when they said season 4 or season 3, we're getting a brand new map. Remember that? What constituted a new map to Activision was actually the same map. So they could well be calling this a new map, because what they classify as a new map doesn't really need to be a new map, does it? So this isn't out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
They've also lied to us before. So they could have said new map. No, this isn't a new map. Don't care. They're lying. But anyways, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because what VGC said exactly is a new Pacific theme map, and they also said it was going to be larger than the map we have now. Well, that also doesn't mean anything. They can extend the boundaries on the current Verdansk.
Exactly.
Exactly. So let's think about this for a second here. Let's go to the second one down, Capital. My first thought was, ooh, Capital. That sounds like downtown on Verdansk. Correct. Now. Another Correct. One here, radio station. Oh boy, that could be, I don't know, the huge array. TV. It could be Summit. Could be TV even, yeah. TV could also just be TV. They did still have TV back then. Subpen, Beachhead, Docks. Okay, those could all easily be on the southern side of the map, right? There's also
where
another
the actual submarine was the Verdansk or whatever. Remember that?
The old
zombies
ship
event?
Yeah. It wasn't a submarine.
It was a submarine.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a submarine.
The one that crashed?
Yeah.
That wasn't a submarine. The one that crashed on land was not a submarine.
Cool, man.
I mean, just learn your fucking boats, right? Holy shit. Learn your ships. Jesus Christ. That wasn't a submarine. That was a merchant ship. But anyways, so obviously, as we all know, the bottom side of Verdansk is all water. So they could easily place numerous POIs along the water down there as brand new places. There's also somewhere else I was reading on charlieINTEL. I don't remember what article it was, but it said something about there possibly being a POI that was like a Japanese battleship or something. So sure, Verdansk doesn't take place in the Pacific, but they could keep what the map looks like, the basis of it, and just change the name of it if they wanted to, right? It's a video game, so I could see them doing something like that. Some more here. Farms. we have farmland on Verdansk, right? Airfield, we have an airport here on Verdansk. Mines, we have salt mine on the map. Other places like village, that could be
lumber.
Yeah, that could be lumber. Could be, I don't know, even like hills or something. Those houses south of military base.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, then it's like, you know, even if there's other POIs.
Prom could have been a village 40 years ago.
You can even think they're not, this list, well, for one, not all these POIs are going to be correct. And number two, there could be
that's true.
a bunch more of them, right? So look at the factory you have now. That can be converted into like a tank manufacturing factory or something, right? Or a you know, like a airplane factory or something, because they built a shit ton of those in World War II, obviously.
Yeah. The more I think about this, I bet you resort is promenade and capital is downtown. Because there's like resorts by capitals, right? Anyway,
yeah, there could be. Could be. There's a couple places that kind of wouldn't fit that, like Lagoon. But again, if they're saying the map's going to be bigger anyways, we were kind of thinking, you know, running down the middle of the map right now, we could see a river or something. Somewhere along that could be like a marshy lagoon or something. I don't know. Yeah, so to say that we're going to get like a brand new map and this is, you know, this isn't a possibility to be getting another reskin of Verdansk. Yeah, literally, that's what we all thought about Verdansk 84, right? Literally,
they told us it was a new map. Yep.
Everyone was 100,000% convinced we were getting Ural Mountains until literally, what was that, 6 days before the release, and I was on Twitter, and all of a sudden I see, holy shit, what is this leaked video that Charlie Image put out? And it was a trailer, and it was Verdansk 84, and it was 2 minutes long, and we were like, dude, that's the new map. It's just Verdansk reskinned. So everyone was fooled up until less than a week before the new map was released.
Yeah.
So it's not crazy to think we're getting another reskin.
I totally agree. Also, it would kind of make sense because 84 to 2019 is about 40 years.
Yeah.
It's what, 35? 84 to 44 is 40 years. So like, you know, sort of makes sense.
Yeah.
Chronologically, chronistically. So that's that doesn't matter that much, but to put this past Activision is insane. I'd be less surprised if it was Verdansk again, Verdansk 44, than if it was an actual new map. Genuinely. Now I will say the only thing that doesn't make sense, you can't have a Russian region be Pacific themed.
Yeah.
It's just simply not in the Pacific Ocean. So, is it? No, it's all surrounded by Atlantic, right? Or is the eastern front of Russia
what is the
Pacific Ocean?
Front? Let's pull up a map of Russia here. Let's do a live little map.
Let's do it. By the way, the Vodyanoi was not a sub. You were right. It was just a big old ship.
It is considered not the Pacific Ocean. I don't know. East Siberian Sea. I don't know.
So
I think that's still considered
it's
the
Bering Sea, the Sea of Oshtok, and the Sea of Japan. But I think once you go past Japan, then it's the Pacific Ocean.
I guess it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because the eastern coast of Japan's definitely the Pacific. I know that.
Damn, look at Hawaii out there. That's going to be me on the map in a few months. Dude, Hawaii's far out
Russia
there. Jesus Christ. That's pretty fucking far. I don't want to go anymore. I'm scared.
Hawaii.
That's out there.
Yeah, Jesus. Hawaii be remote as fuck. Anyways, that's the only thing where it's like, well, that doesn't sound exactly Pacific themed. However, you could have a map that is not in the Pacific that is themed after the Pacific That's totally possible. Because just Pacific theme doesn't necessarily mean it is in the Pacific. And then also, this is a leak. And they've gotten leaks wrong before, dude.
Yeah.
Even the most reputable leakers, like Tom Henderson, who got like almost nothing wrong. He got Ural Mountains wrong. Everyone did. So VGC is super reputable, sure, but they could have gotten at least this detail wrong or something. And I wouldn't put it past them. Now, all of this is sort of a moot point. Maybe. Because if it is really Verdansk 44, it is entirely possible that it really does feel like a new map.
Yeah, that would.
Unlike 84 compared to 19, which
100%.
did not feel like a new map. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Because changes in infrastructure between the 40s and the 80s, I have to imagine, is more than 80s to 20s.
Yeah.
By
a lot.
20s.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, things would look totally different at that point, I believe. I mean, that would be... It could be like everything in the map is in the same area still, but I mean, that should be entirely different. I mean, even like, yeah, half the road shouldn't be there and shit. Dirt roads, right? So I don't know
dirt
that.
Roads, yeah.
Yeah, and we said that before also when Verdansk 84 came out. We're like, hey, next map is Verdansk 44, like kind of kidding, but also like being kind of serious because it's a possibility. But yeah, it's like that gap would play a lot different than what we have now going back to Cold War. And also, though, Activision is probably looking at, okay, people wanted a new map, right? But I haven't seen anyone complaining about the Verdansk 84 map at all. Other than, obviously, like the visibility issues, people don't complain about the map. You don't see, like on Fortnite, every time they had map changes, people are like, holy shit, this map sucks now. Like, this is the worst season we've ever had. Like, this map is the worst it's ever been. Everyone with Warzone complains about like everything else except for the actual map itself. And I think that does go to show you that the basis of Verdansk is pretty good. It's a pretty good map. I don't hate the map either, really. I just, I have issues like the visibility with it in certain areas like downtown are just awful. But for the most part, it's a pretty solid map. So they see that and they see, oh, we can keep just making changes based off of this. And then it'll save us a bunch of resources and a bunch of
Fortnite.
times. Yeah. Well, Fortnite ended up changing a lot.
Yes, they did, which is hopefully what they do for Verdansk 44.
Yeah.
But it is still like the same, quote unquote, same map.
Yeah.
I agree with you. My problem with Verdansk isn't really the map so much. I don't like the map, but it's fine. My problem is more with I'm just bored of it now. And if Verdansk 44 is as similar to 84 as 84 was to 19, then I'm going to be pretty fucking mauled. I'll be like, dude, 3 years of the same map? Like, what are we doing, guys? However, I'm relatively optimistic that won't be the case, but not totally. I'm not that confident, dude. I find it more likely than not this will be, like, way different than 84. But not like, this isn't like a 95% chance in my head. It's like a 70% chance in my head.
Yeah.
That 44 is way different than 84. Now, also, it's possible we're wrong about this, and it's not actually Verdansk 44. But a lot of those POIs read awfully fucking similarly. Awfully similarly. And you would think we would have more very different POIs if it was an actual new map. Like, let's think of a city in the 40s. What would the POIs there be? I guess they would probably be shit like this, actually. How many POIs could there be? I don't know. There are a lot of similarities here,
Yeah.
and I find it I'm pretty confident. But at the end of the day, whether it's Verdansk 44 or not, hopefully shouldn't matter much, because hopefully Verdansk 44 is different enough to where it feels like a basically new map.
Yeah.
And that would be great. That would be fine. I wouldn't be mad about that. And if it was a if it was like way different than 44, what could we expect some differences to be? Now, number one is a different client that the game runs on. So it's like a new engine. Now, technically not a new engine, but when people say video game engine, it's often misunderstood. So for example, here's a good analogy. WordPress is the engine of a lot of websites. But you can have two different websites that were built with WordPress that look, feel, and function entirely differently.
Yeah.
Sure, they're the same engine, but they don't feel that way. They really don't. It's just kind of like a foundation. So hopefully it at least runs on a new client, unlike Verdansk 84, which is on the same Warzone client. And if it does, that could mean a lot of things. First and foremost, for your boy, being able to see enemy players. Many games are built on the same engine, and you guys probably don't have any idea. I don't really either. One, for example, is like the Frostbite engine. That's been used in so many games, and you just wouldn't know unless you're like in the know, because they feel very different. So they build it on the same engine, which they've said they're going to, which they probably will. If they make enough tweaks to it and make it different enough to the current Warzone client, then it could play very well. Even if the exact same map, Verdansk 84, came out, but it was on a different client where I could actually see people, I would be thrilled with that. That'd be a lot more fun than the current dog shit game we play. So number one would be, if it is on a new client, we would see better visibility, less haziness, less sun glare, potentially some new mechanics or some removed mechanics.
Yeah,
for example,
feel entirely different.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they take out mounting. Maybe they add dolphin diving. Things like this would be possible on a new client that are currently not possible if there was a new map on the existing client. What are your thoughts on this so far?
Well, another thing too, I don't know if we said this already, but supposedly the seamless transition is supposed to take place at the launch of Vanguard, which is late October, early November. So if we're thinking they already have to change all of that stuff, like all the mechanics of the game and everything, because that's kind of what they're saying, and fit more how Vanguard will feel, but based on the same engine and similar to Modern Warfare, it's like that's a lot of shit to do by launch, and then also design an entire new map. So again, that's what makes me kind of think that they could just reuse the old Verdansk, because I know like they could reskin it and that still saved them a bunch of time. I don't know how map design works. I don't know how those programs they use work, but I can imagine having a basis of a map already there and terrain and shit saves a lot of time in terms of development on that.
That has to be true. I think you're absolutely right.
Another thought that I had was there's no way they get rid of Rebirth. Rebirth has their own community. People love it. It's gotten very popular lately too. So you know what else was around in World War II was Alcatraz Island, which is what Rebirth is built off of, right? And in World War II, it had something to do with the military, I believe. I think it was like a barracks or something back then, maybe. I don't know. But Alcatraz was built like in the 1800s. So it's been around too. So that would kind of fit with their whole theme of almost just reskinning everything again, is that they're not just going to get rid of Rebirth Island. And again, that'll just go back to Alcatraz. It'll change a little bit here and there. And we'll get that World War II themed for sure. So,
dude, that's a good thought. I didn't think about Rebirth at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they can't just people will mold if they just remove Rebirth and that not be a part of it going forward. Mm-hmm. I would too, actually. I like to have it there.
I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, basically the game can feel entirely different while still being on the same engine. And this is the one where, we could be getting, all new perks and everything for it. You know, so it's not crazy to think they're just going to use the same basis of Verdansk that we have now and just make changes to it, right?
Yeah, and again, that could be totally fine if they change enough of it.
Yeah.
Or more appropriately, remove enough of it. Remove all the skyscrapers. Remove every building that's not 3 stories or lower. Even that's pushing it. Great. Cool. And also, well, I guess that just leads to the next point. Water, swimming, etc. Now, when we had talked about this VGC article, we were talking about, or at least I was saying, it really sounds like there's going to be a lot more water, and therefore we would have to get like swimming, or at least like aquatic vehicles, which would have to go with, you'd have to be able to swim if there were aquatic vehicles.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So if that's true, you might be thinking, oh, well, there's no water on Verdansk 84. There's no way they would, if they're going to add water to Verdansk, they might as well make a new map at that point. Well, remember Dam?
Yep.
They took that out. See ya. You know, and there was like a bunch of ice there. That was like an actual pretty big change. It just didn't matter based on where on the map it is. And it's not downtown being removed, so I didn't care about it. So like, you know, they can make pretty big changes and even add or subtract water, frozen or otherwise, but still be on Verdansk. So I do still stand by, well, I don't stand by it as much. It is still entirely possible that there is now water and swimming in aquatic vehicles in the next BR. Still entirely possible. And it could, and if that's true, it still could be on Verdansk. Because one thing that's never been really utilized is all these fucking ravines or washes that are in Verdansk. They were dry in 19, they were dry in 84. Maybe they fill up with water in 44. Maybe they have it be in a different season, like fucking summer. I know that like 19 was winter, I think. 84 is spring. 44 could be summer. And all the ice is melted or whatever, and there's like water on the map now. What if you filled all those ravines with water? What if there were areas of the map that currently exist that are just simply flooded? Like, you know how you guys go south of Port and there are those cranes? Or what? Whatever. The tall yellow things.
They're
what
cranes.
Are those?
They're cranes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So what if that's all flooded? Right?
Yeah.
And then there's just water, you know, that you can actually like swim on or whatever.
And then if really they were saying there's a Japanese battleship POI, that would probably be parked right there as well, actually.
Yeah. And like, and when you go from Port to downtown, you're going west. And you have to cross that big delta.
Yeah.
It's like this like concrete fucking, I don't know, whatever, space. I guess it's dammed off, actually. And it is dammed off at the south of the map. And there's like also the bridge you can take, or you can just go in and climb up the ladder. That could just be filled with water.
Yeah.
All the way through. And that would be a lot of water on the map. And then they could also just add, you know, like maybe where the stadium is, there's like an island, or like, or that's just like a little lake or something, you know.
That could be like the lagoon area. I was actually thinking that too. That would make a lot of sense since stadium was being built in 84. Or, you know, it's being built on the current map. That back then there would have just been nothing there too.
Exactly. Yeah. So you know, it's entirely possible that there's water, and it could be relatively easily implemented into the current map. There are literally areas for water where there isn't water right now on Verdansk, so they could just use it, fill it with water. I don't see that being super outside the realm of possibility. I hate it. I don't want that to be true, but it's definitely possible. I don't want to be able to swim in a BR. I don't want to be able to dive in a BR. Cringe. I don't want fucking jet skis. Cringe. I don't want to get zoned by someone who has a durable scuba mask and he's just waiting underwater while I'm just fucking getting fucked by the gas, dude. You know?
Durable scuba mask. Let's go.
A durable, scuba suit, whatever.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't be great. Yeah, they could just change so much though and still make it feel good. Because like, especially, that was the biggest thing, was going from modern day to 80s Verdansk with downtown. Their little trailer that they showed made it look like the buildings weren't as big. Boy, were we wrong there. You get into it. But this actually, 84 to 44, 100% we would see less buildings in downtown, and some of them would probably be under construction. Then that could kind of give them a theme going forward. You know, those get built up over time, or if they're thinking this is like a war-torn region, you know, areas could even get bombed and just more areas destroyed as we go forward. Because, you know, something else Tom Henderson had mentioned was the new map having some sort of limited destruction. It's like maybe that limited destruction just comes in like destruction to the map and we get more changes because it's like more of a Pacific themed war zone or something, you know? So it's like with, you know, every update that we get, we see more like minor map changes with stuff like that too.
True. And dude, man, I could also, another reason I could see this is that, I mean, Fortnite does it again. And they could actually, this could be done well.
Yeah, very well.
It just, in general, through multiple Call of Duties, this could be done well. Verdansk 84 could have been done well. It could have been way different, and it would be super cool to see the same map we've all played 40 years ago. Now, it wasn't done well. It was done awfully, and fuck Verdansk 84, but it could have been done well. Verdansk 44 could be done well. And it would actually be really cool, just like how Fortnite does it. They have, it's like the same map, but it's like so transformatively different.
Yeah.
Than it was at launch.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And then also they have like a few areas that have pretty much almost never changed. Like they change, but like the basis of it is still there. So that's kind of like the same thing with this.
Exactly. Yeah. And they could do like for, if COD 2022 is Vietnam, they could do Verdansk fucking 60. When was Vietnam? 70?
No,
69?
60. Yeah.
60.
It was a long time. I don't know.
It was a thick war.
Why did I think it was like 64 though? That sounds too early though.
I think.
When did U.S. Vietnam?
I think 69.
65. March 8th, 1965. 3,500 Marines came ashore as the first wave of combat troops in Vietnam.
Yeah. So we could see like Verdansk 69, hopefully. Sex number. Gamers.
Surprised you know what that number is.
And that would be cool too. Kill yourself.
Got it.
That could be cool too. That could be done well too. And then they could have like still some water because everyone loves fucking gunboats in Vietnam. So, you know, it could be done.
True.
It could be done.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I would
we'll
be.
See.
I think this would be really fun actually. Again,
What
it's
would be? Water?
just getting this whole new map because you know, we said this a bunch of times with Ural Mountains is like they could have screwed that up really badly and it could have been an awful map, and that by itself could have ruined Warzone. They know that the game is still doing very well and that we're all playing it even though we all die to cheaters 5+ times a day. So there has to be something said there for the map and the gameplay of it, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's another
why take a
point.
massive risk if they don't have to?
That's another excellent point. That's another excellent point. And there's, if anything, there's even more support for that argument that they are making internally. Like, guys, look, we did basically the same map for Verdansk 84. We're still getting $3 million a day in microtransactions. Let's keep this up.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing Verdansk. Why get crazy? I think that's actually a great point, which would, again, lend credibility to the Verdansk 44 argument.
Exactly.
And the fundamentals are there. You know, I think it's like a good size with a good landscape.
Mm-hmm.
The problems I have with Verdansk are not the region. It's not like, oh, it's too flat or it's too hilly. I don't think either of those things are true. I think the landscape is actually quite varied and good.
Yeah.
Some areas are flat, some are hilly, some are tall. I think that's like actually really good. My problem with it is there are too many buildings, and they're too tall. But you know, that's not a problem with the fundamental region where the map is. So
Exactly.
again, Verdansk 44, yeah, it could be done well.
Yeah.
Fuck, what was I gonna say?
Yeah, we like to hate on the
Go
map,
ahead,
but it's a pretty solid map, to be honest. Like, I don't... BR maps, I feel like, are kind of hard to design, too, since you're playing on all of it. It's easier to design, like, a basic multiplayer map or something than it is to design this.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's things I don't like, Promenade, Downtown, but it's... You almost have to have areas like that on most maps. You have to have some sort of, like, downtown area. I would have liked if it was just more like a bigger area of suburbs, like, you know, 1-2-story houses or something instead, but... All in all, it's a solid, well-rounded map. Yeah.
Dude, when you look at like what's that BR that I always get the name of wrong?
PUBG,
that I call Daisy.
H1Z1.
Daisy?
H1Z1.
Okay, yeah, that. H1Z1. If you look at that map, there are really tall buildings, but the difference is when you go there, there's like 1 or 2 of them, and they're surrounded by way shorter buildings.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem with downtown is all the buildings are so tall.
Yeah.
So you don't know where people are going to be. But if like, think about this. What if downtown had Trump Tower and then every other building was the height of bank max?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That would be so much better. Because then, like, then you would know if you want to be a high ground player, cool, you have to go here. And everyone knows that's the best spot, the highest ground. Everyone's going to be fighting for it, and everyone's going to be watching out to not get sniped from it. But current downtown, there are so many buildings that are 12 stories tall, and you don't know what rooftop someone's on. There are so many viable rooftops. There's Four Corners times 2. There's Favorite, there's Trump, there's that other like dude, there's I literally can't name them. There's so many. There's actually probably 10 or 12.
So you can get on all of them.
You just don't know where to look. It's like all of them. Yeah, exactly. It's just so fucking cringe. So downtown could be, I'm not opposed to like tall ass buildings. Don't put all of them right next to each other in the same area and all of them be 12 stories tall.
Yeah.
That's my issue.
I agree.
But anyways, fuck, I was going to say something earlier and I forget. I don't know, but it'll come to me hopefully. Yeah, so again, Verdansk 44 could be well done. Hopefully they don't fuck up aquatic vehicles. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Also, based on just the names of these POIs, by the POI names alone, it sounds like there could be some actual fundamental differences in this map. So Verdansk 84, there was no fundamentally different area. It doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Salt Mine plays the same as Quarry. Summit plays the same as fucking Fire Station used to. Or Dam used to. Nothing is actually fundamental. Factory, same as every other fucking dumb little building around airport in Verdansk 19. None of it's actually fundamentally different. However, for example, Subpen. That could play fundamentally different. Think of, I don't know what a Subpen is, so Tanner can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking of like some very large enclosed area, but it's still like permeable from the coast, where there are like a bunch of submarines parked.
Yeah.
And you could like go into the submarine, loot it, and then you swim over like 20 meters to another submarine and loot it. And there could be some very cool like gunfights happening here. Like, oh, he's in the next sub. Like, all right, I'm gonna go underneath. My snorkel's almost out, so ping him. And then like you're, doing cool shit. Like in a James Bond movie.
Yeah, look in internal
play
when you get a second. That's a sub.
Okay.
Then.
Okay, got it. That could play. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Right.
Exactly.
So that could play fundamentally different than any area we've had yet on Verdansk. Unlike anything in Verdansk 84 relative to Verdansk 19. I think that could be really cool. And that would, again, make it feel like a new map, even if it's actually not. And I would be fine with that.
Yeah. And then that would be like a whole, that would be like a whole area to fight too. Cause that's like a whole, it's a base basically, right? I mean, it's like a submarine base. It's a fortress for them. So there'd be a bunch of rooms in there, a bunch of areas to fight. Yeah. So even adding like a POI like that. And if it's anything down against the water, that's just going to all in all make a bunch more areas to play than we have now. Cause like down there right now, that bottom part of the map is just useless for the most part. I mean, people go to prison. I don't. Don't ever catch me landing prison. Fuck prison. If I ever land a prison on stream, remind me to end my stream, right? Because I shouldn't be playing the game.
End your broadcast.
So it's like, places like that, maybe prison is just gone. Maybe that whole area is a fucking submarine base or something, That could make sense too. So, yeah, some of these, just based off these POIs, whether or not it ends up being Verdansk, there could be some cool things in here.
How about Resort? What if the map Hacienda was like an area in Warzone?
Yeah.
That would play pretty cool with like some center, like that center, like there's a name for this. I don't know what it's called. Is it a mezzanine? It's like where you walk in. So in Hawaii, they have a lot of these. You walk into a hotel. You're in the lobby. It's a room. Okay. You keep going straight. And it's like outside, like there's no ceiling. But everywhere surrounding it is just like doors to the building.
Yeah.
There's a name for this. Is it and it's like sort of like that, like in Hacienda at mid. It's like an open ceiling, but it's surrounded by like the building,
Uh-huh.
That, anyways, doesn't matter. That could be a cool area to play in Warzone. Like the map Hacienda, if you put that in Warzone, I think could actually play pretty well. That'd be a cool area to like loot. And that could be like sort of what Resort is like,
Yeah. Got to think too, some of these would probably be World War II maps, because I never really played World War II. Wasn't Docks a World War II map and Airfield? I think they were. And of course that was a Sledgehammer game. So we'll see, some of their probably previous maps or their type of theme in whatever we end up getting for this next map too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then here's another thought. Village. What if these are like actual this is more Vietnam. I was thinking like what if they're actual like straw like enclosures, like on the map like on Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like wooden
I know what you're
base.
Thinking. I had that
base leafed. What if the part of the destructible environments are I molly that bitch and it burns?
Oh yeah, true. Wow, that's a good point. And they did have that actually. If you watch those, I would imagine if you watch like Pacific type war movies, a lot of their structures were like that still. So
ask the village of My Lai, dude.
Yeah.
They sure did. They sure could burn fucking villages. Cringe Americans, by the way.
Super cringe.
War pigs. Yeah, fuck America. So relax. My Lai was not defensible though. Anyways, yeah, Arsenal is the name of a BO4 map. I wonder if it's the same exact map.
I don't know though, because BO4. That would have made more sense if anything for this year because of a Treyarch game. I can't see them like taking themes of that when it's like Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward supposedly developing this one, and of course Toys for Bob, and I guess every other Activision studio out there.
Yeah, I don't know, but it could be. It could be, maybe not, but yeah. Like Arsenal, I could see being placed like where Factory is now. You know?
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense, actually. That's true.
Yeah. And Lagoon would play very differently, because if it's a lagoon, there's water around. And that would mean there's, like, again, a lot of swimming, water sports. I said it on purpose, relax. And a beachhead, same shit. That would be a lot, has the potential to play a lot differently. And then there are other areas that wouldn't play differently at all. Radio station, not at all. Airstrip, not at all. Caldera sounds fucking exotic. It would play like salt mine.
Yeah.
Just like a big valley, like a crater. It's like, okay. That's literally at Quarry. Quarry is a crater. You can be on the hills above shooting into it. It wouldn't be that different, I don't think. But some of these, again, have some potential, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And mines, by the way, could be actual mine shafts where you're like underground in like tight enclosed spaces. You guys know how there's that giant vault door north of Salt Mine that's unopened?
Yep.
What if that was opened and it went into a mine shaft?
I thought of that part of the map specifically also.
Yeah.
When I was looking at these POIs. I was like, oh, that's going to come into play eventually.
It would suck playing there. Don't catch me there, but it would be different. It would certainly be different. It would be most similar feeling to the rappel south of Dam in Verdansk 19.
Yeah.
Real claustrophobic feeling. It would be like that similar feeling to that. Wouldn't be located there, but
yeah.
Or maybe it would. I don't know. But there is potential for this to feel a lot different, based number one on if it's on a different client or not, and number two on how fundamentally different these POIs are and existing POIs are changed. And that is not, all of that is not to mention if it's on a new client, which hope to God it is. That means new perks, maybe. New guns, obviously, that goes without saying. New slide mechanics, new sprint out times, new ADS times, new recoil control patterns.
So if we get all of that different and the map is again a more reskinned Verdansk, that would be fine because the game is still going to feel entirely different.
Exactly.
Entirely different. So, yeah. By the way, I think we both hope that when World War II drops, that all the other guns are just gone. I would like Cold War and Modern Warfare guns just be gone at that point. I don't know what they do to balance that and make it fun and balanced, but at that point I would just want them all out of the game. We'll just start from scratch. It'll feel like Warzone year one again, where we have one set of weapons to worry about. That'd be perfectly fine with me. I don't know how they change that, but
I agree. I'm hoping that it's played on a new client with new guns and new perks and no more field upgrades and only that. Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So then the other thing was like, what could we see like added, say like buy stations? Those could basically be exactly the same, right? Exactly the same. I mean, you know, they're not taking like loadout drops and all that shit out of the game. They'd be dumb to do that. So it's like the buy stations could pretty much stay exactly how they are. Because think of the stuff that's in it. It's like, you know, buy plates, buy munitions and armor boxes, buy a loadout drop. UAV, it would just be called a spy plane or something. You know, you'd get the same effect from it. Cluster and precision strike would be the same thing, but cluster would be like a artillery strike or a mortar strike, and then precision airstrike would instead be, you know, some sort of like it'd still be like a strafe run essentially, but it wouldn't be a jet sound flying overhead, right?
Yeah.
Or you wouldn't see a jet in the air. You'd see some little dinky plane flying over.
You'd see the Wright brothers come in.
I mean, they'd be on the map for 10 minutes because it'd take them so long to get off of it because they're slower than jets. But so it's like all of that stuff could just stay the same. You know, another thought is Tom Henderson had talked about more vehicles being added in, possibly like tanks and shit like that. Wouldn't be great, right? But if they're going to add something like that in, maybe that comes in the way of a buy station. Maybe you can buy things like fucking a Sherman tank, right, from a buy station, and it costs the same or hopefully more than a loadout, and junk like that. Because I would probably rather have that than there being 10 Sherman tanks that spawn all over the map.
So true. Yep.
And then, you know, it's like Battlefield, the issue with tanks is because I fire 3 rockets and I'm out of rockets. Cool, somebody dropped ammo for me. Great, I got 3 or 4 more. I hit that tank 3 more times, it's still not dead. Cool. So I'm either dead by that point, either the tank has killed me, a player has killed me, an airplane has killed me, or the tank has just backed off and repaired. And that's the reason tanks are overpowered. They're not overpowered in that game because they have a ton of firepower. They're overpowered because of their defensive abilities. So it's like if we get some shit like tanks in the game, which Tom Henderson thinks we are, change it, I don't want it. But if this was something like a tank gets taken out in like 2 rocket shots or some shit, okay, whatever. You know, it would be awful to have, but if they were to balance it that way, then it would be better than just a bunch of tanks spawning around the map that people get on and then this just feeling like Battlefield, which of course I don't want.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if they, first of all, I didn't even think about that, but that would be so much better than just like tanks that just are on the map.
Yeah.
So true. You have to buy it and it like parachutes in. Maybe you get a noti similar to when Juggernaut is bought. It's like enemy Juggernaut on the field. Maybe you get one for a tank too. Like enemy tank deploying or something. Which wouldn't help that much, but it would be good. But yeah, I totally agree. It would be way better, way more balanced if you had to buy it for 12 racks, 15 racks. And also unrepairable, just like vehicles are in Call of Duty, which I would expect. Way less durability, true. Maybe limited ammo too. Or maybe it uses your ammo or something.
That would have to be.
That would actually be nice. Like if you can fire rockets, but it takes your rocket ammo.
True. That makes sense.
Or like you can fire from their mounted machine gun, but it takes your sniper ammo. That would be a decent way to balance it too. Actually a really good way. However, dude, a couple things that I think would make sense if they added tanks into the game. There would have to be just random mounted machine guns in areas. However, they would have to somehow be really good against vehicles and not very good against people. And I think the way you would do that is have them be like flak guns. Like, you know, the Battlefield flak gun?
Uh-huh.
It's pretty tough to hit people with that. But it's really good against vehicles. So maybe all the mounted machine guns are like that. Like where it's like not worth using against like a person, but it's like really good against the vehicle.
That is very true, yeah.
That could be something they do. But also, one of my biggest worries for this is, how does this change the loadout meta? If there are tanks in Warzone, guess I'll never use an SMG again. Cool, man. Everyone just has to have an RPG now. Cringe as fuck.
Exactly. Then we just have more explosive to use against infantry too.
True. Then you're getting rocketed in buildings more. Yup. True. Cringe. Mega cringe. Yeah. I'm pissed.
I wouldn't want that at all, but this is based off what Tom Henderson is saying.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, these are predictions. Yeah. So we all agree, fuck this. But it's gonna change a lot if tanks are added to Warzone. Depending on, or even mounted turrets on like regular guns or like gunboats too. It's gonna change a lot, man.
Yeah, it is. It'll feel entirely different.
So, I don't know. We'll see. You know what? Another way you could balance it too is so if you're in a tank, you can drive the tank or you can shoot it. You can't do both. Like in Battlefield, you can drive around in your tank and shoot 2 different types of guns. You can shoot your cannon or your like 50 cal. You should instead, another way to balance it would be, you can drive it if you want, cool, but you can't shoot at the same time.
Yeah.
You have to have a different person on the 50 cal, and then also a different person on the fucking rocket turret thing. That could be a way to balance
Wouldn't
it.
make sense in
one guy can't
solos,
just
but
drive
maybe that doesn't
yeah.
exist in solos. Things like that, you know?
Get them out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is another good way to balance it. That's how the Battlefield 2 mod I played, Project Reality, was like. You had one person, that person was the driver, and they would be driving the whole fucking time, and the other person would be the gunner. So you'd have to communicate back and forth, you know, things like that. So that'd make more sense for sure. But
Dude,
I mean, bottom line, we don't want any of this stuff. We were only talking about it because this Tom Henderson is saying it's coming to the game.
Yeah, he's saying it's possible. I don't think he said for sure, but he said it's.
I don't know. He said this is kind of turning into Firestorm. He said there's going to be a lot of vehicles on it.
Interesting.
Like he even basically was saying like planes. I don't believe that, but I don't. This could also come in the form of like streaks or something. You know, like these planes could be the precision airstrike or something, and then you know, something like that.
What if, dude? What if it was like an operator ability in BO4? So you buy it, and then once it's deployed, you get it for like 60 seconds, and then you run out of gasoline and it just doesn't work anymore. That would be that would actually be like almost fine. Still don't want it in the game, but that could be worthwhile.
That's true.
Because when you call in a cluster strike, you don't just get rockets diving in forever. It's a limited amount of time, and then see ya, it's done.
Yeah,
That makes tanks were like that.
That makes sense. Yeah, just put on some sort of a timer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that could be decent too.
Don't put him in the game, Tom.
Yeah, hopefully not, but yeah, it would be interesting. Yeah, so we'll see, but I don't know.
Trying to find that tweet again that he said about it, but
yeah, I don't know.
whatever.
What was I gonna say? So Tom Henderson mentioned the new map would have limited destruction, similar but on a lesser scale than Battlefield has. How bad would this be? Is this even doable for last-gen consoles? I find it pretty hard to believe. Don't change COD to Battlefield, please. That's what Tanner said. Interesting. So I think there are two different considerations. I don't think this would be bad from a gameplay perspective. I actually think it would be kind of good and kind of cool. So people can't just camp.
Cool.
Think about in like everyone camps 18-story buildings, so this doesn't really make sense.
I know. I get what you're gonna say.
But anyways, yeah. Let's say the last circle is in farmland. You know how there's those 2-story buildings everywhere?
Yeah.
Think of that with restock claymores. You're not gonna get in there. It would be nice to have destructible environments for that. Throw a C4 in there. The wall is blown off, and now we can actually fight each other. I actually don't think that would be bad for the game. I think that would be good for the game. But the bad part would just be, yeah, last gen console support. So because in that VGC article, they did say the next Warzone or whatever, or COD 2021 BR will be playable on PS4 and Xbox 720. So, are those consoles capable of environment destruction? I don't know how much harder that is for a system to render than not destruction. I actually don't really, I'm not really sure it would be much more.
You don't think?
Intensive at all. The only thing about that is you couldn't cache nearly as much of the map. Because you can't cache a building if it's not always the same. Or maybe you could.
I can just already see the Call of Duty devs being like, On one person's screen, this wall and building is destructed and gone, and then on somebody else's screen, it's a normal building and it's bugged, right? I can just see that happening all the time.
True.
So
True.
having no destruction in general is just, I think, gonna be better. I get what you're saying, though, like it'd be good for campers, but also it's super fucking annoying when like there's a tank on Battlefield and I'm trying to get away from it, and it's like I go into a building and kill one guy, and then the tank blows off the wall in there. It's like that's not fun. It's like it's like there's nowhere for me to hide shit like that. But then that also mostly comes down to the vehicles in Battlefield.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I mean, destruction would be fine if it was just all infantry based, like how Warzone is now. But
and if it was well done, that's actually a really good point. I don't trust Activision to have destructible environments and not have them be a buggy disaster.
It'd be
That's
buggy
a great
for
point.
months and months.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
That's
Battlefield.
a really good point.
Battlefield, I'm sure, still has bugs with their destruction. They've been doing them for what, 7 years, 8 years, something like that. So, yeah,
That's a good point. That's a good point.
yeah.
And then what is this next note here, Tanner?
Last point here, we're just kind of gonna talk about weapon attachment stuff. I started writing this, and then as I was writing it, I was like, oh, okay, I guess it doesn't matter as much as I thought. So Modern Warfare 2019 set the precedent that all future COD titles would have a massive weapon attachment system. And I was thinking, like, how would this work in World War II? I'm like, how are they going to put all these attachments on? But then it's like, you think about how Cold War has their attachments set up, and it's like, okay, I guess this is actually completely doable. It's like, they'll put 8 different magazine attachments. For something like an M1 Garand, I don't know how that works. There's no extended clips for M1 Grands, right? So it's like, what do you do for guns like that? Maybe you just have fast mags or something. Then my other thought was, well, maybe if we are getting some sort of vehicles, maybe we'll get more ammo conversions. Maybe we'll get like armor piercing ammo and different things like that that will do maybe slightly less damage to a person's body, but it does way, you know, like 200% more damage to a vehicle. And that's a way to counter like tanks or something. So you could shoot at it with your normal firearm, right? And then, you know, they can throw on enough different barrels. You can have 6 different barrels, just changing the length of all of them a little bit. A bunch of different muzzle attachments, muzzle brakes, compensators, stocks. Yeah, so I guess this isn't that hard to do. I was just originally thinking, like, dude, how would they do this realistically for World War II? And that's the thing, it won't be realistic. But there's just people. I mean, Call of Duty isn't going to make a realistic World War II shooter these days because everyone's going to mold if they have to run around with iron sights, right? So we're going to get dumb optics on the guns that basically didn't exist in that time frame, and it's going to feel stupid, like how Battlefield 5 does. But I run an optic on every single gun because it's so much better than iron sights. Obviously,
Did they really not exist really in the 40s? I wonder why.
Not
they
from
didn't.
any pictures or anything I've ever seen, at least.
Yeah, I believe it. I'm just surprised by it. Because it's like a piece of glass, right? I guess the reticle would be like the technical part.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, I don't know how all that shit's made, but it's like, look at like red dot sights. What is it? Tilted spherical mirror reflector with a red light emitting diode.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's like,
That's
yeah, it's like
complicated.
they couldn't make that back then. And if they did, that would cost 10 times the amount of the gun itself. So
Yeah,
sorry kid who joined the military and he was 15 and a half. They're not going to spend that much on a gun for you to storm Normandy with, right?
And die immediately.
I mean, they know you're just going to get gunned down. They're not going to spend that much money on an optic for you, buddy.
Walking 4K, yeah.
Rip. F's in the chat.
F's in
for
the
those
chat.
guys.
Yeah, F's in the chat. We're joking, obviously. Yeah, I think it would be entirely unrealistic, but don't care, because I would prefer, which I think is what you're saying too, we would prefer, one of the few things MW did really well was the gunsmith. They didn't describe any attachments well, but the system itself is actually really cool, and I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah.
And everyone likes it, like unanimously. This is never going away in a COD ever again. It's that simple. There will always be a gunsmith unless they come out with something new and better.
Exactly.
But that won't be for a while. So this game will have a gunsmith. It won't make much sense, but that's probably fine. And I'm excited for just new guns. Again, like you said, I'm hoping Cold War and MW guns get the fuck out. Let's get a whole new suite of guns. All brand new shit. Brand new 100-year-old shit. And then we can just, you know, start fragging it out with those.
Yeah.
But if I have 3 Car 98s in my armory, I'm going to be mauled.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to mauled.
Cool, man.
For 3 AKs or whatever.
Well,
It wouldn't be 3 cars. It would be 3 AKs. There were AKs in World War II. Right? There had to have been.
No?
Let's look it up, dude. Let's Google the Kalashnikov. Let's find out, dude. Damn, this guy's still alive, dude. Oh no, he died when he was 94.
Rip.
What a god, dude.
I mean, wasn't it made in 47? Produced 1948. Yeah, it wasn't around.
Okay, yeah. Cool,
No, they
man.
were all, the Japanese all used bolt action rifles for the most part. And then they had that weird gun in
Mosin.
Battlefield 5 with the magazine sticking off the top so you couldn't see anything. They had some dog
The
shit
plate,
guns.
dude.
Japanese
Yeah.
had some awful guns.
Well, they had the. Isn't the Nagant Japanese?
No, it's Russian.
Oh,
Their version, I think the Mosin is Russian. Their version was called something else. It's very similar, but it was called something else, I think.
oh, the.
Like a, wasn't it called like Type something?
God damn it! No, it's like a Japanese sounding name, I think.
Type Arisaka or
Like
Arisaka, maybe that's how you say it.
yeah, an Arisaka. Yeah, I think that's what.
Which
it
I think
is,
was also
yeah.
called like a Type 99 or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. M1 Garand, M1 Thompson, K-bar knife. Okay. Holy shit! This article is 11 weapons that won World War II, and there's some weapons. And at the bottom of the list, weapon number 11. Can you guess what it is?
No, what?
In all caps, atomic bomb.
No, Jesus Christ.
I mean, sure, I guess that's true. Holy shit, that's so funny, dude. Oh my god. That is crazy, dude. Anyway.
Cool.
Cool, man.
Well, that's about all I have to say. This could all very well entirely be wrong, but we don't know. These POIs just got me thinking, and I know all of you guys, you could say, oh, that doesn't make any sense. It won't be Verdansk again. I don't know. I don't know. Very well could be, guys. We were all wrong last time.
True. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Yeah. At the end of the day, what map, whether it's Verdansk 44 or not, just make it good. I don't care. I really don't care. It just seemed awfully like this could be Verdansk 44 after all, and we're trying to kind of make the case that that could be fine, could be good even, but they could make it such that they don't change the map enough, and then it's cringe. But I think if it's on a new client, it'll be fun. Do you think it'll be on a new client?
What do you mean by new client? Like,
So-
like it'll feel like how multiplayer Vanguard feels? And like looks like their UI and shit? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah.
I think so. I think that's kind of what Tom Henderson has been thinking as well. Like this would basically
Yeah.
be like kind of Warzone 2 almost now, but
That's what I'm hoping for.
I just don't want 3 sets of weapons. That's my biggest thing is I don't see how they can add in all of these guns and then me have fun playing against the other ones, unless they just make them all such dog shit that nobody uses them. And then at that point, it's like, well, why even clutter up my weapons list with those then? They just get rid of them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, true. It's like, why is the FR556 available? Don't let me select it. Lock it and say, sorry, we're sorry. The gun you're trying to use is complete dog shit. Please pick a different AR.
Yeah, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. So anyway, we'll see. Yeah, we had a couple little items, new items related to Warzone for next year. Just wanted to give you guys some thoughts, some predictions, some hopes. Just because there was a little bit of new information, which was those POIs, but obviously we talked about a little more than that. But that's pretty much it. So next Patreon episode, not sure what that's going to be about. We'll probably have maybe some new information on Season 4 Reloaded or something to talk about, or another behind the scenes, something like that. We'll keep you guys posted, of course. You know the vibes. So
Maybe some weapon balance will be coming soon, possibly.
Yeah, that sweeping weapon balance change for Warzone, if that comes, we'll definitely be talking about that either on Patreon or on a Saturday app, or both. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so it's pretty much it for me. Tanner, anything you want to add before we sign off?
Nope. Thanks, boys.
Cool, man.
Appreciate it. This wasn't a Cold War episode, sorry. Yeah, make sure to stop by Saturday for the episode with Razinon.
Yeah, stop by Saturday for the Razinon ep. Be here live. It's going to be a blast. Very excited to talk to that young man. And we got some other shit coming up too, as usual. So with that said, that's it, boys. We're going to wrap this bitch up. Patrons, it's been another phenomenal month. And we are continuing to chug along full time. Thanks 100% to all of you listening to this.
Yep.
This is patrons only supported. We won't get sponsors. We had that delusion early on.
You did.
Because
I was never
correct.
that dumb.
Tanner always knew. Tanner always knew.
Like, nobody's going to sponsor us. You lost your mind?
Yeah. So we'll never be sponsored. So we do this because of you guys. So we really, 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 really love you. And we really appreciate it. And, you know, that $5 or $20 might not mean much to you, might not mean much to you, but it's like literally our career to us. So really love you guys, really appreciate it. Support means more than you could possibly know. And another month where we are very grateful to each and every one of you, and thank you a lot, for real.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
So, all right, that's it, boys. We'll be back next time. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Have an excellent evening. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Stay humble.